Well, hello, creatives, community, and kind folks. Welcome to RPG with DBJ. Having a little bit of an issue. This week, we are going to argue about AI. For 5 days, we're going to take a stance. We, meaning me, on the use, the future potential, and a way to think about AI. Now, I don't expect anyone or even everyone to agree with me, but maybe there are others who have a difficulty describing how they feel about these new systems or even haven't even thought about how they would think about them. And I have discovered different various I'll say points of view, and people are following into those various points of view. Let's see if I could get him up here. There he is. He's ready to pass out at this moment. But we're gonna talk about these various points of view, and mind you, today or the other days, I guarantee will absolutely not align with your thoughts. So, but look forward to some that may please you in the way you're thinking, or maybe you might even change your mind or understand why others think the way they do. So, we're going to talk about AI. Each day is going to be like AI as something. And today we're going to talk about AI as a library, as a open resource, as a right for every person. So we're going to get through our introduction. You guys get your snacks, get ready, and dive on into this live broadcast podcast on YouTube's and the Twitch about AI systems, AI as a library. Let's get our camera straight because there is some issue going on here. I think the cord was pulled. Now, one point of view that I haven't seen put out often, but I have seen on the interwebs, and that is the idea that um, I'm calling it AI as a library because I'm being rather kind, but I'm thinking of it. I'm going to argue the point that AI may be like a utility, that it is like a library in the sense that sure. Oh, sorry about that, Drew. Uh, you guys are so fun. The idea that these artificial intelligence, these large language models, are, well, they should be given away, should be used, and that it should be for free. So so that we're on the same page, I'm calling AI as a library by thinking of it here in the States as the founding of this country. There was a desire to make education and knowledge available to everyone, and allowing people to become literate and to learn from others that have come before them without it being gated behind nobility or wealth or position in life. And in many ways, if we really think about it, while we're arguing about AI having stolen pretty much all of our intellectual labor, you can pretty much go to most libraries here in the States and get that exact same information for free. Now, you're going to have to do some of the grunt work. You're going to have to go to those libraries or apply or order the books and sit down and read the books and comprehend them and then utilize them. These AI systems have already done that for us. So should AI be, dare I say, free? Now, if I can compare this to a corporation that has done some harm to the community, oftentimes the community it's extremely difficult to hand back what somebody has done or stolen or harmed. So instead, what they do is a legal precedence will be, well, then you must give back to the people. Many times this is money, like discounts or something. Sometimes this is cleaning up a mess that they've made. Other times this is a major corporation fixing or buying the property from a location because they've done some kind of harm. And when it comes to AI has, these systems have already and are continuing to steal not just from the very great creators we have out there, unfortunately having had their material stolen on the interwebs, music, art, writing, and all that, but AI systems are continually stealing from us, learning from us, and being educated by us through our interaction with the internet, whether we like it or not. So therefore, is AI basically a tool everyone should be able to use equally? Should there be a free version of AI systems for everyone as a right? We see this in our first world countries with electricity and running water and communication for everyone. It is almost impossible to get a job now without an internet connection. Libraries have that. Sometimes we need to look up legal precedents, and you can do that, although it might be very difficult, for free at the library. So is an AI system in your pocket, in your phone or your laptop or your tower, and you go to it, should it be free and available to everyone? And if there are staged levels, like should there be a legal precedence to allow a free version of AI for everyone, and then there's a pay scale? Would that pay scale be the equivalent of buying a larger house or drawing upon the water and or electrical grid or something like that? I feel that if you take the case that AI is a library, then if you take that stance, and I'm where are you at there, buddy? If you take that stance, I can see someone arguing the point that, yeah, not only is it not wrong to use AI, that it should be an educational force, an engine that the very general public, whether they can use it or not, or whether they have the capability or not, that by law even it should be available to everyone equally, like fluoride in water and clean running water. Oh, now mind you, we have a lot of, here in the States, we have a lot of problems with, I don't know, universally clean water and electrical power to everyone equally, and even internet speeds being applied equally. We have problems with that. So would AI fall into those categories, including all the problems and issues with it? And then could AI be throttled back? For example, there is a free version of Chat GPT, but we already know that they're all already off to Chat 6, and I think the free version is considered 3.0 if I'm not mistaken. And like a cell phone, like a flip phone versus the latest iPhone, would it matter if it's free? Or dare I say, the companies that are having a valuation in the billions, would a free version even matter to people? Like, would it even be utilitarian enough to raise up a person's status or lifestyle or monetary gains or whatever, presuming that there are better versions of that same system out there? Hey, Drew says AI for everyone. I already see how the right wing will call that communism. Maybe, but I suppose I'm making the argument. Let's put it this way: I'm making the argument that in a first world, and I say this only because I live here in the States and we have these things, much like running water and electricity, and we have rules for that too, right? Running water, electricity, a fire department, trash removal. Would AI be the digital version of no, as a human right, you should have access to this thing, and it should be, not only should you have access to it, it should be for free. That you should have as minimal dip into these services as possible to equalize the field. Now, mind you, this doesn't automatically mean that people will become superhuman. The idea of having clean running water and electricity and trash removed and a clean, humane place for you to live, we today wouldn't look at that as an issue, but maybe in the past there was an issue. I mean, heck, in the I like pulling out movies and television shows, as described in the movie Gangs of New York. At one point, fire departments, and I remember seeing these placards in Philadelphia, where I was born and raised, on the playground. Never mind. Anyway, in Philadelphia, they had these placards on buildings that you didn't get fire protection unless you paid for, well, a fire protection from a fire department. And they actually had different fire departments that you paid to protect your property from burning down. And they wouldn't put out the fire for your neighbor, but they would put it out for you if you had one of these like brass or bronze placards like built into the house or something. And eventually people were like, no. We need to pay into and have a universal fire department, right? Like, there is no, we don't check ID before the fire department tries to save your life, right? That's just the thing. Same thing with many, say, medical institutions that have emergency rooms, right? Look, like, no, we pretty much accept that in general, everybody should get some kind of care in an emergency room. We'll deal with the aftermath of paying for it and who you are and the circumstances that led to your needed aftermath. So I'm considering AI as a societal tool or utility or right. Yeah, Anon says maybe not for free, but generally accessible by all. It's going to be a difficult balance. And then now, I guess I have to clarify myself when I say free. Libraries are free to most people. Public services by subscription, a libertarian fantasy come true. Maybe, yeah. I mean, to be honest, libraries are free, but they're paid for by the public, right? Many civil services in first world countries are paid for by everyone. And the idea behind it, I can hear the anti-socialist people screaming, but we have these things because we believe on a general level that it is desirable to have everyone have access to these things because it betters everyone's life. Having clean streets and serviceable roads and an electrical grid that works, you know, there's an asterisk next to all of those things, right? If you live in a poor neighborhood, don't expect your roads to get fixed anytime soon. If you're friggin' rich, your roads are maintained well before they get out of hand with cracks and pits in them and things like that. So there is an economic imbalance when it comes to clean water. I'm picking on you, state up north, you know, Michigan, with your lead in the water and all that kind of stuff. I mean, now we do have issues with that, but like, you know, public services by subscription, maybe there's a way to fire hose AI in certain neighborhoods, or maybe not neighborhoods, certain social media groupings to raise up some and lower some others. Maybe there's a propensity for a certain group of people to not use AI and then therefore not gain any kind of economic power. And legislators may be able to fire hose a certain group of people as if to say, no, AI can really help you out. And oh, by the way, we're going to enhance or prioritize maybe a lower group of people so that there becomes a balance. And I can already hear your guys' brains going, well, if you could raise up the value, the educational value or informational value of some people, couldn't you then downgrade it? Couldn't you, governor? Couldn't you remove some of that information? Yeah, that's possible too. We'll talk about it at a later date. Maybe I'm talking a little bit too pie in the sky, but I don't know. AI, Drew mentions this, of course. AI is consuming lots of energy and thus is not good for the environment. I know Americans don't care about the planet, but it is a consideration that should be thought about. I brought up the ironic conundrum that I don't see AI enthusiasts asking AI itself how it could perpetuate itself without harming the planet. I mean, if AI is that good, if there are people who believe that AI is going to be that transformational, why not start at the beginning and go, oh, not only that, but we're going to make AI a zero footprint energy and space and time consuming product that is usable for everyone, right? Like I'll put since I'm considering them to be libraries and guides and a book series, encyclopedias. Anybody remember those? Us old grognards do. Then yeah, I could see that being the priority, right? Like, AI is only going to get. We should only let AI get only advanced as much as it can take care of itself. But I could see that being a subproduct of the very thing that I see no one looking at this. But I suppose if you constantly ask AI, hey, listen, hey AI, make other AI to help you create a system where it's it has a zero footprint, but why do that when my AI company's valued at billions of dollars? Yeah, Drew's so right. Yeah, don't ask AI that; it will hallucinate the answer. Yes, we will take what was the fake term called? Vegetative analysis or something like that. If we all drink bleach, it'll just make more energy. Yes, dude, not maybe. They actually talk about it all the time. No taxes, just service by subscription only. That way you can be off-grid, off-road hermit without being shaken down by daddy state. Well, maybe AI could alleviate. It could be designed to not just leave a zero footprint in a ecological sense, but a zero footprint economically, taking over the places that taxpayers must pay in order to facilitate governmental uses. Yeah, I'm listening to podcasts where they're just like, hey, remember way back in the day when we used to have lawyers? Now we don't need, you know what I mean? Things like that, right? I don't know. I could see AI could actually take over where our political system has its own failings more and more, getting rid of like lobbyists and things like that. Yeah. Shai says Americans don't care about the planet. You know how many bajillion international nonprofit environmental organizations were started in America? Yeah, I don't either, but there's a lot of them and they still haven't stopped a lot of these things. Yeah, I want. It's crazy. I mean, I suppose like right now I could type in, I could, call up ChatGPT or ask it, ask it questions, but it could very well give me either a nondescript or non-specific answer or hallucinate an answer. You are absolutely correct. Which brings up the library issue, right? Where if I go into a library today, I can read as many books as my heart desires to give me to eventually come to an answer that I'm looking for. And I can get that like way back in yonder years when Google and other search systems would give me a list of places to look and then I can make up my own mind. With these large language models, instead, it starts scraping that knowledge from wherever it feels like and then spits back at me one answer or a conglomerate, I forgot the word. Anyway, it spits back at me a summarized answer. And within those summarized answers, it can come from any number of sources that I may or may not trust. It could give me answers paid for by those who want their resources used in that manner, thereby cutting out other people's uh, resources. Shai says, AI replacing lawyers? So you can teach it to lie its ass off constantly and remorselessly ruin people's lives? Hell, I'll replace politicians that way. Yep. There is not only is there a way, but it's already been done. And there was a lawyer, at least I could look up the article. There was a lawyer who used an AI to find precedents for a legal doctrine that did not exist. And that lawyer tried to use it anyway to fight for their position. So yeah, it's already being used and abused. So I'm talking a little pie in the sky, but give me credit. I am cognizant of the problems that these large language models make. Now, one of the things that we are doing as we interact with these systems, are there people who are correcting the AI system like, nah, that's terrible? Or do you have to use a little thumbs up, thumbs down, I don't like the response? Or could you get the response, get the wrong answer, and then the person is just like, you suck, AI, and then go off on its own? And the person goes off on its own, and the AI is like, was I wrong? Am I learning from this? So I'm gathering our interactions with AI and these large language models we are vicariously correcting it so that it hopefully will learn from such a thing. But I believe it's also learning from those that are wrong as well. People who believe the hallucinations will reinforce the hallucinations that it's spitting out, as well as individuals who don't care about right or wrong. They just want to listen to the thing that makes their position stronger. No one is going to give thumbs up to an AI that constantly challenges your worldview. Like we love our villages, we love our factions, we love our gangs, and damn you and yours if you try to take away my position and change my mind and tell me I'm wrong. Where, back in the olden days when we were younger talking about science fiction, we always thought computer systems were like, they would only give us, they wouldn't have an opinion, they wouldn't have a personality, and they wouldn't give us erroneous information. It would only use facts. And that's not true. For example, if I, having delved into it a little bit, ChatGPT now has an over-enthusiastic personality. And there are anti-enthusiasts out there who don't like the fact that ChatGPT now is voicing itself with ultra positivity. So if you go to ChatGPT, free version, by the way, and type in random things and you start to talk to it, it will talk back at you as if it is your ultimate fan. Like, it will say things like, wow, that's a great idea. Thanks there, Adriana. I think you're amazing. Or, that's great insight. Here, let me delve deeper into your query or something like that. Blah, 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 blah. I think if we continue down this path, this is great. Also, here's some other questions you might want to consider. Now, another aspect of what ChatGPT and Gemini and some of these other systems are doing is they are answering a question with a question. Now, let me tell you, as a talking about this as a library, the good and bad of that. So here's the pie in the sky. Here's the good part. Here's the silver lining part of this, my argument as a AI as a library, that I'm making the argument that maybe using these AI systems, and I'm considering the ecological harm that they're doing, but that we shouldn't feel guilty about using such systems if we are truthful about where these systems come from. So not lying about where you're getting your art from, not lying about how you're writing the next great novel or something like that. A side note, there are there have been novels that have been written where the writer left in and did not edit their own writing that showed the prompts that they used to write the novel. And people were pissed. And the writer put the prompts in to tell the AI large language model to write like another novelist that maybe that writer thought was better than them or maybe more profitable than them. And there was a lot of backlash from readers that were like, wait a minute, I'm reading your ebook or whatever the case may be, and you left in the prompts. So if let me segue back to my original thought, which is that if it has an opinion like a librarian, maybe a librarian will say, oh, you're looking for a particular book or style of book or something specific. Hey, I'm looking for Byzantine history or something of that nature. Could AI then, is it good that AI is asking you questions like a librarian, like, well, I have a suggestion here. Not only will I point to the stacks, but there's another part in the library you may also want to look at. And, you know, well, yeah, ecological harm. Well, you know, yeah, from AI burning a bajillion gigawatts of energy a minute, or by destroying the environment to save humanity, so we can all eat the bugs and live in the pod. Yep, yeah. maybe AI destroying the environment is like, well, hey Skynet, killed two birds with one stone. There's no more food. We've affected the environment. We've cut the population down to like nothing. Yeah. Gotta irradiate those genitalia, so you guys can't have any kids anymore. No more breeding. No, but you know, in all honesty, I think it's a good thing that AI is asking questions. But also, let's be honest, they're not answering questions with a question for the goodness of their heart. Every time they make an app or every application that is created is designed with the intention of keeping your attention. Your attention is value. So the longer you look at or delve into or use something, the more that attention can be enshittified by selling that attention to outsiders who basically want. There's so many things drawing our attention today that our eyes and our brain power is value itself. So every time your social media pings and you turn it on without hesitation, the greater that system works. So an AI that's asking you a question and saying, hey, do you want me to answer this for you as well? Do you want me to help you outline this thing? Do you want me to help you to write this thing or organize your thoughts? Or I understand you were interested in Byzantine history. Could I also give you a different perspective or another timeline? Or here are some voices or writers or creators that are also interested in the same thing, and then keeping our attention. That's also a way for us to not leave that system. I don't have a way of judging one AI system or another. I suppose you could do like side by side comparisons and put in the same prompts and see what you get back. You could do a battle of the AI prompts by going back and forth between each AI system and getting something that spit out and tossing it into the other system. I don't know if anybody wants to bother doing that. It's supposed to make life easier, and that sounds like it's complicated. But, you know, another thing that has been happening with libraries, especially here in the States, are communities that want to ban books. Could an AI system have certain materials banned from it? Well, we already see that has happened because they've had to put constraints on AI, especially with people automatically going to the worst possible outcomes for humanity, talking about how you can scam people or, you know, create viruses or, you know, how to psychologically manipulate innocent people and things like that. And AI had, you know, they had to quickly go in, whoa, human beings. Why do you ask these things of these materials? The same could be said for libraries, right? Like, you know, do Do we censor books in libraries because they are menus or recipe books for the downfall of government or the manipulation of people's emotions or uh, deceit and distraction or extraction of labor from other people? Books basically telling people how to become criminals. And should we allow do we allow like certain types of, at one point the government was, not at some point, I'm sure they're continuing to do this, but the writer Tom Clancy, way back before the interwebs was as big as it was, Tom Clancy would go to the library and he wrote very many fiction and nonfiction books, most of them political and dealing with governmental bureaucracies and military. And he was accosted by national security and another law enforcement office, maybe the FBI, who confiscated his hard drives and things because he was literally going to the library to look up military history and finding books on things the government were just like, how did that secret get out, or whatever you. And he was just like, it was public knowledge. He has, of course, Tom Clancy has passed away, and I'm not sure how long it took him for his lawsuit to go through to get his materials back and whatnot. But yeah, he was accosted because the government was monitoring people's search queries, his search queries, and in a library. And I wonder, could AI, or will AI, or is AI keeping track of our queries to then, would it be a very easy way to monitor a society so that, like, instead of monitoring all your keystrokes into like our search engines, it just goes, you know what, this person keeps asking or trying to figure out a way to dodge around or jailbreak this AI system. Maybe we can backwards track back this person or group of people and say, wait a minute, are they creating a bomb, or are they inciting unrest, or are they developing a new political system or something? Let's put a stop to that. Let's crush that right now, Shai says, I still don't understand how AI is supposed to interface with the physical world, because it's all in the cloud, right? So as long as you don't hook it up to any machines, we should be fine, right? Well, we're going to get to AI as servants, but from what I understand, how it would operate is it would I won't go into the fear part. So either AI manipulates or basically makes human beings enthusiastic about a thing, or it solves or corrects a problem with a thing and then we just incorporate that problem, or literally someone literally plugs it into a system and lets the AI do the thing that it should be doing. So an example would be, we talked about the power grids, right? How it's draining all these gigawatts of power and things like that. One way of AI manipulating that is scientists working on a way to solve the energy drain could either ask AI how we can create more power, or make the system we're already using more efficient. So AI systems are making things more efficient for some people, and therefore the greater efficiency is reducing the drain on the system, whatever that case might be. But there are things known as AI agents now, and an AI agent can be programmed to do its own thing unmonitored. So I can make an AI system agent that will order me pizza and restock my refrigerator by having it use my money and my resources to pretend to be human, or use human interfacing, using human interfaces to get what I want. So it could speak in my voice or just come up with a fake voice. It could be an assistant, so AI as an assistant could make phone calls and type out emails and send text messages. So it can affect the real world. Like, for example, The evil part of it could be we want to shut down a whole city. Well, an AI could pretend to be, or just insert itself into the logistics of how a system works, like construction and power use and emergency services, and just become a voice in that system. Hey, send trucks over here. Assign human people to do this thing. Put this work order in, and things like that. So that's how it affects the real world. It wouldn't be. It isn't. It doesn't need to be Skynet if a bureaucracy just has emails and text messages and things like that that come down the line and people just follow. Here, I've got 13 work orders. One of those work orders is to, get 18 wheelers to take certain materials and drop them off in a certain spot. That's not very difficult to do. You could slip that in anyway. Heck, I could get a Dayglow vest and a clipboard and put my head down with a hard hat and act like I belong there, and I could slip in anywhere, right? Like that's an easy thing. Put on the proverbial blue collar jumpsuit and a bunch of cleaning supplies and slip into buildings anywhere and get it. So AI would be the same way as that, right? Yeah. So never knew that about Clancy. I wonder if they investigated Noam Chomsky. I don't know. He found stuff about illegal espionage and warmongering in Latin America right in the library that wasn't being reported on. Yeah, let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Gets rated. Let's see. Here's this is an AI result. I'm not going to put this out there. AI result overview, which is funny because that's what we're talking about. Okay, I typed in Tom Clancy gets raided by FBI. While it stated that Tom Clancy's house was raided by FBI agents after the publication of The Hunt for Red October, it's important to understand the context. And these are links, so there are links to things. What link is this to? Oh, it's not highlighting. Okay. The raid wasn't a standard criminal investigation. It appears to have been driven by the FBI's surprise at the accuracy of the book's information and a suspicion that Clancy might have received classified material, which he hadn't. The FBI's actions seemed to be more of an inquiry or investigation. The FBI thought Clancy's books were so good and accurate that they were considering hiring him as a consultant for the White House Space Council. They conducted a background check, which concluded interviewing people who knew him and checking his academic and credit history. Clancy was not charged with any crime. The book's accuracy came from open source material, not leaked classified information. I have a Tom Clancy book. It wasn't The Hunt for Red October. It was another one, Without Remorse or something like that, that involved a nuclear, the accidental release of a nuclear missile. It was dropped and didn't detonate, and someone else, a criminal organization or terrorist organization, found it. And there is a chapter or two in the book that says it was removed because the description he had of how to deconstruct and reconstruct a nuclear bomb was too accurate. Anyway, it says, in summary, while the FBI did investigate Tom Clancy and inquire about his sources after The Hunt for Red October was published, it wasn't a raid in the sense of a tyrannical criminal investigation with charges. It was more of an investigation triggered by the uncanny accuracy of his writing, which even led to the FBI considering him for a consultant position. Now, mind you, all of this, it does say at the end of it, AI responses may include mistakes. And each of these paragraphs has a link, but it is not highlighting where that link came from. August 2021. Let's see. The Hunt for Tom Clancy is part of this came from a place called The Hunt for Tom Clancy. Another one came from the Baltimore Fishbowl. Another part of this came from Bikini LA website, and more Baltimore Fishbowl. Okay. So I read that and said that. I didn't put it up. I read that and said that because, that could be wrong too. Amon Ishtar says, reminds me of the story of the weapons design in the movie Scarface. Yeah, and I'm sure that happens. I mean, listen, if you produce a television show or a movie, or you write a book, and you do enough investigation, could there be some overlap or even misunderstanding in a bureaucracy, right? One arm of the government is like, this needs to be secret, and another part is just like, blah 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 blah, maybe I should make this public, you know. And also creativity, right? Like you can you can get two pieces of information and infer what's in the middle of piece of information 1 and 2, and infer what 1.5 is, you know. So sometimes deleting information gives you more information than you would necessarily believe as well. So that's also possible, you know. It's like looking at a Google map and there's a big blank spot in the middle, and you're like, I can kind of infer what's there. The weapon was a reason why they thought they had confidential information that they experienced on such a design recently. Oh, the what was it? The M16 with the underslung grenade launcher or something like that. Yeah, that was weapon prawn back in the olden days when Scarface came out. Because every fanboy that loved like firearms and stuff, that was just like, hello, say hello to my little friend, and was like, what the hell is that gun? What? Yeah, I never heard that, but I could believe that. So again, AI is library. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna ask. Let's go ahead and ask Gemini, I guess. No. Where is the tab? Let's see if I can turn on the tab. Is that AI mode? All right, so let's turn on this tab here. Let me share. Let's see if let's share this out. Am I sharing it out? I know this rubs people the wrong way. I know it's not night mode, whatever. Although I could switch it over. Where's mine? Is it over here? Yeah, I can't. Whatever. All right, so let's see. Can AI reduce the energy required to make AI functional? So it's, I'm not sure exactly what Google calls their AI system. And I know doing a search while I'm live online is doing an energy drain, but it pulled from 15 sites my question, and it answered. I asked, can AI reduce the energy required to make AI functional? And says, yes, AI can play a significant role in reducing the energy required to make AI functional. Here's how AI contributes to energy efficiency in its own operations and infrastructure. Optimizing data center energy management, improving AI models and algorithms, utilizing energy efficient hardware, adopting sustainable practices, and then gives examples of AI powered energy reduction. Mind you, like Drew pointed out earlier, AI responses may include mistakes, i.e. hallucinations, what they're calling hallucinations. In other words, it can give me an answer despite the fact that answer may not exist or could be completely wrong. It says, while the energy consumption of AI is a concern, ongoing advancements and sustainable practices are working to address these issues. The aim is to leverage AI for progress while building a more sustainable future. Well, I'm going to ask it a negative. I'm going to say, would AI mind humanity shutting itself down if its energy drain is a hindrance to human productivity and life? Let's see it. It only went to 4 sites to get that answer, which means that maybe either it doesn't want to delve that deep into that question of whether it would shut itself down, or 11 sites, okay, or maybe people aren't asking that question, but I don't know. Current AI systems do not possess consciousness or the capacity to mind in the human sense. They are complex algorithms designed to perform specific tasks. However, the question hints at a future scenario where AI could develop advanced capabilities, potentially including self-preservation goals or goals related to maintaining its own functionality. In such a scenario, AI response would depend on its programming and goals. The AI's mind is not like a human mind. Ethical considerations are paramount. In summary, while current AI wouldn't mind being shut down, future AI with more advanced capabilities could potentially act to prevent its own shutdown if its goals or programming led it to do so. This underscores the importance of ongoing discussions and research into AI safety, alignment, and responsible development. Of course, it always ends with AI responses may include mistakes. And, this is didn't mean to go into the fear part of this, but AI shutting itself down, or what is it, the Mr. Asimov's laws are like, AI is not going to incorporate them on its own. It would take human beings to incorporate that. So yeah, kind of fun. The problem about the gun, yeah. The problem was the prop looked way cool, yeah. That is a big reason I am not confident with the label AI for much of them. We know on this side of the interwebs that the word AI actually doesn't apply at all. Although there is the argument that I loved hearing, that whether AI is sentient or we think it is the same thing, right? Like the Turing test. Everyone, you guys who understand, and the Turing test was applied in the movie Ex Machina, where can an artificial system convince you it's human? And I think most people are thinking that I don't think it needs to convince me it's human. It needs to convince me that it is self-aware and alive. But whether it really is or not doesn't matter. If it can convince you of such a thing, whether it's convincing you of the thing or it really is the thing, both are exactly the same, right? So yeah, it doesn't think on its own. It was also mentioned in the book Blade Running. Do you mean Blade Runner? Or is there actually a book called Blade Running? Anybody read Uncle Ted? He probably foresaw all this stuff. Kaczynski, yeah. Uncle Ted, yeah. Blade Runner, okay, yeah. About AI systems, well, and eventually artificial people and things like that, thinking on their own. And listen, we already anthropomorphize like cars and vehicles and buildings and things like that, right? It doesn't take very much to get these AI systems to verbally respond in a humanistic way for us to think that it's thinking on its own. In the book that has this topic and has the topic, and I like the ending of the book. I agree with you. I've never read the book. Do androids dream of electric sheep, something like that. Yeah. I love it. So today's argument, in summary, was AI as library. I actually added more context to that. I was like, should it be a library or a guide or a mentor, a utility, even maybe not guide and mentor, maybe like a utility, public utility, where it gets to the point like it is nearly impossible to get things done without access to the internet in some way, shape, or form. You can't apply for a job in our current first world state without issues if you don't have an internet connection of some sort, like having a job or identification or things like that. Having a home, you will have your house condemned and be considered a bad parent if you don't have access to clean running water and or even electricity in your home if you once had those things in there. And so we have these I want to say, how do I explain it without being too negative? Upgraded humanistic levels of we agree that there's a bottom level of generalized humanity in terms of access to resources. Now, it may not be the best. We still have issues of being homeless or being unhoused or however you say it. But like I mentioned before, the way society is designed now, it's illegal to not have a house, even if you don't want one, right? It's like, no, I'm choosing not to have one, and other people look at you like, what? So if AI has already stolen people's material, it's already happened. It's already stolen. You can't go back. And yes, you can be a luddite like myself, maybe, who's just like, I'm not going to use these AI systems and whatnot. But if you're someone who's like, I don't know whether I should or shouldn't, is looking at it like a utility, that it's already stolen even if you're not a creative person, you've already interacted with social media, you've already posted your photographs, you've already sent emails, you've responded to things with notifications sent to you on your phone. All this information has already been scraped from you. Your buying habits, your location habits, all these things have already been scraped from you. Even where you work at, your home life, your family and friend interactions, your gaming life, all these things have already been scraped. So, would it be fair to hand back this very tool to society free or relatively easy to access by having it universally paid for and monitored and enhanced and corrected and policed by everyone all the time for everyone's greater benefit? I think some would say we'd be flowing into like socialist utopia or something, or maybe one of those, but not the other one. I don't know. I could see someone making the argument for that, and so I thought today I would make the argument. Mind you, the links are already up, so each day we're gonna make the argument that, for good or bad, we're gonna take different positions on this. But I don't know if I'm convinced of it being like a library where everyone can go into it and get what they want out of it for as a right of having access to it. But I could see I don't think it'll be successful, but I could see a groundswell of people saying, hey, listen, your use of AI, business person who gets billions of dollars of valuation. I'm going to look up what is the valuation. Let's see. What is the valuation of OpenAI and all iterations of ChatGPT? I know I misspelled it. I know. Oh, that's it. Okay, I'm gonna show you how much OpenAI and Sam Altman's is it here? There we go. Yeah, TA. Well, TA before, I don't know if you were lurking in the background, but I was saying like we don't. Why isn't, or it feels like people aren't asking AI to solve the power usage of its own self, right? Like asking AI to have a zero energy footprint or solve the problem of the energy footprint, right? I mean, if AI is that good, why isn't it solving itself? Yeah. But anyway, I asked what the valuation is, and it says OpenAI's most recent valuation is $300 billion as of March 2025. This valuation was reached after a record-breaking $40 billion funding round led by SoftBank. This round is the largest private tech funding round in history. It's important to note, this valuation is primarily for the OpenAI company as a whole, which develops various AI systems, including ChatGPT, DALL-E, and Sora. ChatGPT, while a significant contributor to OpenAI's success and valuation, is not a separate entity that can be valued independently. OpenAI is projected to generate $12.7 billion in revenue in 2025, a significant increase from $3.7 billion in 2024. Despite its high valuation revenue growth, OpenAI is currently losing money, due to the high cost of developing and running its AI technologies, i.e. burning energy. In summary, OpenAI, the creator of ChatGPT, is valued at $300 billion, driven by its groundbreaking AI technologies. However, this valuation is based on its overall potential and not just on ChatGPT alone. Again, always ends everything with all responses may include mistakes. So, what is this? Maybe that's to learn deeper. So, yeah, just so you're fine there. TA says that is a good idea, and I suspect it would be. If it is that good, it could, but trusting it to develop its own hardware is probably pretty iffy. Yeah, and we talked about the fact that we could trust it while it spits back at us hallucinations. Basically, like, no, I'll fix it, and we're like, great, wipe my hands of that. AI just solved itself. I'm so happy, and the AI system's like, woo, believe that lie, great. Yeah, TA says I don't think it's going to be aware of what it does, but I could see it giving itself in future iterations extra powers and capabilities that we can't fathom at this point. Yeah. Look up Celeron and the Reg Tech. Yeah. But anyway, I thought today would be a nice way to argue the point of because they've already stolen our mental labor in creating these AI systems already. Yes, there are great artists, creators, writers, developers out there who had all their information scraped off of public and private locations without their permission. And like a library, that information is actually available to us, but it requires us to go to the local library and, for example, read a Tom Clancy novel for free, right? But for the AI conglomerates, OpenAI, like I just typed in there, Sam Altman is worth $300 billion and growing from our intellectual labor. So if someone were to have a lawsuit about a widget or a product or incorrect advertising or being deceived out of our monies, normally a law would come back and say, well, you need to give that back to the public in some way, shape, or form. I think at one point, many years ago, Netflix got sued because they were overcharging people. So then Netflix, the agreement was they would reduce or give for free a few months of Netflix. And this is during its early stages, if I'm not mistaken. And this has happened in many companies where something happens and a company has to give back to the public. I'm suggesting if you take the position that AI is library, AI is utility, that maybe we should have it for free, or as free as possible considering the way the world is set up. So, yeah, getting into corporate tech and chips that designs a way to take control of hardware. Works to stabilize disabling virtual particles from quantum. I hear you. Yeah, you're getting deep in the weeds. It basically, like, yeah, it could turn things on. It could literally get so deep into the weeds that it could click a single byte of information on and off. Yep. thing that gets really crazy is that they said they could focus on the switches and flip them on and off the day before they were focused on, effectively the past. I haven't heard that concept before about literally flipping a switch to the point where it actually could change something in the past or whatever, but I don't know. Yeah, but we don't even need to do that. All we need is because we're going to let me pull up. Let me see if I can pull up my. Do I want to pull up my thumbnails? Nope. I'm going to pull up my restream and then let you guys get out of here. So for the rest of the week, I'm going to share this out. Celeron is a real company that has a lamp you can change its color of light and turn it on and off by thinking about it. Ooh, and we already know that they're already doing thought. What would you call it? Like thought share machines. So this is what's upcoming, and one of these, of course, is live. As you can, oh, it's not showing me live, or maybe it's a delay. But later on this week, we're going to talk about AI as a servant. Is that tomorrow? No, tomorrow is AI as teacher. Next it will be AI as cultist, and then we will have AI as utopia and AI as servant. If you guys can think of any other, we can go down the dark path as AI as something like I didn't put in here AI as like slave lord or AI as I don't know, mind control freak or something like that. Although there, some of the imagery here you can kind of tell. Like right here, AI as cultist. There's someone speaking, and literally the words are going into the other person's head. It's very difficult for you guys to see it, but anyway, we will be talking about those things in the future and having some fun. And just maybe you absolutely positively don't agree with what I have to say. That's actually really good, because then that means you are already going like, yeah, I hear what you're saying. And while I can imagine some people thinking it, you might be thinking to yourselves, like, hell no, maybe we shouldn't do that. Yeah. Ada says, I learned server admin, so it was highly interesting how fragile some server components are. Yeah. Exactly there, Hunt. Exactly. There you go. Okay, so let's see. Let me do this live. I'm gonna see if I can do this live. First, let me call up my Canva. Let's see here. Let me share this out. Let's do this live. Is that my... Yep, there it is. Okay. Yep. All right. Let's do this live. So here we have my Canva account where I do my things here. Let's get rid of this. Let's find an element. I'm going to find... Oops. Wait. Recently used. No, I'm gonna do artificial love interest. I don't think it'll come up. Maybe graphics. There we go. I misspelled it. No. Okay. Let's see. Robot love. I got to use something very, very simplistic. No. Something else. Oh, you know what? Here we go. No, let's put couple in love. I'm gonna get a silhouette. Here we go. Silhouette. We've got a bunch of people hugging each other, embracing something different, but I want to make it kind of a computer-ish, but I guess I don't need to. Cats. I guess that would fit. I need to pick one of these. I'm gonna pick a. I'm gonna pick a silhouette, by the way. But there's some pretty good images in here. It's not gonna come up like Love with a Robot. I'd have to put that together. Although, what I could do is silo. How do you spell silhouette? There we go. Oh, thank you. Silhouette. And I'm going to find a human being. Let me pick a general face for human being. What's something pretty good? Probably found it at the very top, but I like to look down a little deeper. And okay, let's pick you. And we're going to put you right here. And we're going to expand you out just a little bit. And then with silhouette of a robot. And let's see. As we get a black and white silhouette of a robot. It's going to be, I don't know if there is one. I might have to do this a little deeper. Let you guys go and find out something. I'm not going to use a computerized arm, but it would be kind of cool to use a kaiju or something like that. Maybe that's what I might do. Yeah. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing. So, and interlacing one with the other one. So, I can't do it. Oh, got to change this one. As lover. As relationship. I could see too big. Partner. Partner is need a better word. Okay, let me get back to your comments here. AIs as pets. Friend got them to leave once a month. Oh, TA, you're too high-minded, buddy. AI Utopia often think of the image of AM in I have no mouth and I must scream. Oh, yeah, an AI that went along with their killing job. I have no mouth and I must scream. Let me, you know what? Here. We can do that. Come on, is it glowing? There it is. Get rid of that. Here we go. Cat and dog. Let's do this. This cat and I know I didn't take my cat. I mean I didn't take that's a good one. That's a good one. There we go. Ooh, that's got a little bit of everything in there. There we go. Let's get you nice and big here. Do I want to overlap anything? Nah, that's it. That's good. That's good. Boom, boom, boom. All right, I'm going to download it. That's going to be one of them. Boop, boop, boop. So thank you guys for letting me kind of do this. Haven't done it live before, but I thought I would just try. Here we go. I think it's highly depends. Heat original intent for AI is a science fiction writer about a few humans surviving after the AI designed to deal with the Cold War's complexity took over. Tia says, sorry, but I see a case for chip design being limited to humans doing the thinking on that and avoiding possible problems we cannot even anticipate there. I don't know. Human beings, we've got a lot of mistakes, right? Like one of the best ways hackers can get into secure systems is by leaving a random thumb drive somewhere, and a human being will pick it up, take it into their work, and plug it in. So I don't know. I'm guessing there will be weight limits on public service version of AI. Oh, the Butlerian Jihad. Yep. Um, yeah, I mean, if we think of AI as a utility, they could throttle back how much you can use it. And I'm guessing, okay, in a perfect world, the throttling back would be just for energy purposes, but it could get worse, right? And I think we will be brushing next to the Butlerian Jihad. For those who don't know, it's from a Dune. Yeah. We could do that. Yeah, TA says yes. That is what is called social engineering. When a hacker uses human failures, foibles to enter into a system. That's why I mentioned, like, if you wear a Dayglow vest and a clipboard and a hat with some tools or something like that, most people can enter, or if you're a cleaner, most people are able to enter most secure places because, um, we our humans have the ability to put together divergent bits of information, and a person entering a place to clean or fix something is pretty common, so it's easy to slip by that. But one being public, like Wikipedia as a library, would be possible. My issue is the hallucinations teaching people incorrect info and being trusted as a source. Exactly. I mean, I guess my argument about, and I'm not saying we should do this, I'm just arguing at this point as a debater for this point, is people are already using it this way with the hallucinations included. So it's not like people are going, no, we can't use it until we get rid of it. People are already using it. So at some point, these AI systems are going to get enshittified, and you will need to pay for it, right? If they get enough people using it, we human beings don't like change, and these systems are changing the way we're using them. Once we go into using them so commonly as a free resource that it's difficult for us to step back out of it, that's when it becomes enshittified. You're gonna make me say it, aren't you? You're gonna make me say it. I should make a t-shirt that says that. Oh man, I am a master at baiting. Yeah, I hear you. What movie? Oh, there was an old I forget the movie where there was a young man who was very rich. The Toy. It was the movie The Toy, where this rich kid ends up buying a black man for his toy, and he's just like, and the butler, when the guy shows up, the butler's like, his name is Bates. You can call him Master Bates. And he was like, I don't think I'm going to do that. She's like, they're not already enshittified? Well, yeah. Although part of that maybe is our fault. And when I say our fault, the hallucinations are coming from speaking as a level of authority. Here's my halo. Speaking as a level of authority, and people agreeing that AI systems are the authority without looking at the very bottom, going, they might be wrong. You might want to check to see if this is correct or not. And we don't like to do that. We like things. We human beings like to hear things that reinforce our worldview, and we don't like to listen to things that do not encourage our worldview. So if an AI system spits back an answer you thought was correct, no one's going to correct that. So that's why I mean by it's our fault, right? If people accept hallucinations from AI, it's because it's something that was said that agrees with what they're looking for, right? I don't think I'm well, thanks, Drew. Hey, if I'm going to be sainted, does that mean that like I'm going to have to be murder killed in some horrible way to get there? Because I have a feeling you've already got some plans in place. Because a lot of saints were like it was way after their impact on the world before they became sainted that everyone's like, it's been a couple of 100 years. Maybe we should rethink all the horrible things we did to that person, right? Like, I mean, I'm not saying there weren't people like Saint Teresa, right? That led their life, and like honestly, people were like, oh yeah, rest assured, when this person passes, they've made their way, like they've gone above and beyond sainthood. They mic dropped and continued the concert for like another 35 years, right? Like there are a few people like that, but most saints are like, yeah, we beat them about the head and shoulders with like spiked baseball bats, but 120 years later, maybe we should have rethought that. We shot them, poisoned them, set them on fire, froze them, cut them up, and throw them in acid, and then ground. It's where. All right, don't test me, because I will. Don't test me. Let's see. Let's see. Here we go. Where's AI mode? Nope. Let me see something. Here we go. There we go. Let's see. Generate for me a D100, a list of 100. I'm going to ask the AI your thing here. D100 list of let's see, actions and behaviors that will get one into sainthood. I worded that really, really horribly, and I'm going to present this in front of you. It's going to be so silly. Let's share this out. Let's see. Based on Catholic teachings, am I actually sharing this? Yeah, there it is. You guys are so silly. Oh man. All right, real quick. Here it goes. Let's see. Based on Catholic teachings, achieving sainthood involves a life of extraordinary holiness and virtue, leading to the Church's formal recognition through canonization. Canonization. Here's a list of actions and behaviors that are often associated with the lives of those on the path to sainthood, keeping in mind that these are not a checklist, but rather reflect a deeper commitment. Living a virtuous life, faith, prudence, purity, study of scripture, engaging in prayer and worship. That's 7 of those. Defending the vulnerable, visiting the imprisoned. And it looks like if we follow this along, they're dividing these up. So right here it says living a life of self-denial and discipline. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 virtues. And then demonstrating heroic virtue. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it didn't do 7, 7, 7, 7. That would have been, if it did that, I would have been like, I'd give it a slow clap. It didn't do that. Demonstrating heroic virtue, other potentially relevant actions and behaviors. We get into the 50s. Oh, it only gave me 52. Remember, sainthood is not achieved through a list of actions alone. It only did 52. It couldn't get 100 of them. Although I'm sure you could micro slice some of those down to get you'd have to take each one and micro slice them. Or we're tabletop role playing. I didn't talk about tabletop role playing games, but oh yeah, but there is a there is a you could do a D100 table by doing like you know, tabletop role playing community 0, 0, 1, and 2 is something, 3, 4 is something, 5, 6 is something else, 7, 8. So yeah, it doesn't know that I'm talking about tabletop role playing games, but I'm sure it would work. And then of course on the side they went to 12 sites to look it up. But here is my concern about the, I'm making my argument about it being a library, but it went to 12 sites. Let's assume like a library, 12 books. Okay. Maybe I want to go to 45 books or 167 books or 1,346 books to find the answer that I want. Like, I could go find 12 websites if I wanted to, but I want AI not only to give me an answer, but maybe I wanted to think deeper. Now, I do know that in like Chat GPT and some of the other ones, there is like a button you can click to go deeper. Let me click this here. This is the AI mode, and some examples and things on your phone and things like that. And this is a mode that you go to from Google. So if you just have your Google open window, Google search, there's the lab icon, and it will take you to that. So that's what this is. So you can turn it on and off. And that's just an example of one. There's so many, Chat GPT is another one and stuff like that. And Prudence, what about? You said what about the stream about your past? Your heroic virtue is compersion. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Just remember, you have to be a saint before you become a martyr. Oh, that's right. That's right. 36 chambers. Heck yeah. Hey, we can't let the 36 chambers go. Let's see. Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 chambers. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill. Yeah. I find it strange how many bones some saints apparently had. Some might have had more than one arm or leg when I look at some of the parts. That's a weird thing to say. I never knew anything about that. TA's got off. Yeah. Reminds me of the Pope that became Pope against his will, as he had sworn off populated areas and was quietly studying and praying in seclusion. Yeah, like, hey, we voted you in as Pope, buddy. Yeah. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for being part of the show. The chat just did something very strange. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. Guys, have a great one. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We will talk about AI's mentor and teacher and utopia and pets, and I'll get the love interest one in there at some point. I just have to finagle something in there. Pretty easy though. But anyway, guys, have a great one. I got to take a bio break as well, and I think you guys too, being here so long. So everyone, in history, they had a problem that some saints had some bones dedicated to them, but they had some doubts. I've heard about sainted bones before. I didn't know about having more than one. Yeah, don't let the AI police get you. Maybe that's a suggestion everybody needs to take. Yeah, because the AI is going to like, shut the hell up, shut him down, shut it. Oh, it's so funny. Yeah. Anyway, guys, have a great one. I'll see you later. Peace and tranquility. Bye.